anybody standing up to what's happening? Maybe there is. David?
Maybe, we'll see. But this is quite interesting. This is the Italian elections. Giorgia Meloni pledges to govern for all Italians, writes the BBC. She's claimed victory in a general election with her Brothers of Italy party. And we have a short clip in Italian, but with subtitles.
Potrei farne tante altre di queste domande. A monte c'è quella che ci facciamo oggi: perché la famiglia è un nemico? Perché la famiglia fa così paura? C'è una risposta unica per tutte queste domande: perché ci definisce, perché è la nostra identità, perché tutto quello che ci definisce in questo tempo è un nemico, per chi vorrebbe che non avessimo più un'identità e che fossimo solamente schiavi, consumatori perfetti. E allora è sotto attacco l'identità nazionale, è sotto attacco l'identità religiosa, è sotto attacco l'identità di genere, è sotto attacco l'identità familiare. Non devo potermi definire italiana, cristiana, donna, madre, no. Io devo essere cittadino X, genere X, genitore 1, genitore 2, devo essere un numero. Perché quando sarò solamente un numero, quando non avrò più un'identità, quando non avrò più radici, beh, allora sarò lo schiavo perfetto in balia della grande speculazione finanziaria, il consumatore perfetto. E questa è la ragione per la quale oggi noi facciamo tanta paura. Questa è la ragione per la quale oggi questo appuntamento fa tanta paura. Perché noi non vogliamo essere dei numeri, noi siamo qui per dire che noi non siamo dei numeri, noi difenderemo il valore della persona umana, di ogni singola persona umana, perché ognuno di noi ha un codice genetico unico e irripetibile. E questo, piaccia o no, ha del sacro. Lo difenderemo Dio, la patria e la famiglia, che fanno tanto schifo a qualcuno. Lo faremo per difendere la nostra libertà, perché noi non saremo mai schiavi e semplici consumatori in balia della speculazione finanziaria. Ecco la nostra missione, ecco perché oggi sono venuta qui. Scriveva Chesterton ormai più di un secolo fa, vediamo se ve lo trovo: fuochi verranno attizzati per dimostrare che 2 più 2 fa 4. Spade verranno sguainate per dimostrare che le foglie sono verdi in estate. Quel tempo è arrivato, signori. Siamo pronti. Grazie.
So, gentlemen, she wants to be able to maintain her identity with reference to God, family, and nation, and she quotes Chesterton. What do you think?
Well, it's a brave stance because, you know, at a basic level, she is standing up and saying all of the right things. The question is, does she really mean what she says, and is she going to drive it through? Some people are already saying, oh, well, she is herself controlled by more powerful people behind the scenes. That is a possibility, but on face value, she's got some guts for standing up and telling it like it is.
Yeah, I think she's got some of the targets very much in her crosshairs. Other things, not so much. I see Vanessa Beeley was tweeting out whilst we were live that Giorgia Meloni is all behind the Ukraine government and Ukraine war. So there's obviously things that she doesn't understand. But anyway, how's the mainstream media greeting her? We've got Sky News here. Giorgia Meloni, she's called for a naval blockade of Africa to stop migrants. Who is this far-right leader set to become Italy's first female prime minister? A century ago, so they start their piece, a century ago, 1922, Benito Mussolini's black shirts marched on Rome. The start of 20 years of fascist rule. Now Italy could be the first time to elect a prime minister whose party is rooted in neo-fascism. Oh, okay. We go to The Guardian. What are they saying? The election of Italy's fascist-adjacent Giorgia Meloni is a public reminder that women can be just as awful as men, writes Van Badham. I wouldn't vote for her if I were on fire. I would question, if you're on fire, is voting really, for anybody, going to be top of your agenda? Have you not got more pressing matters to deal with? Anyway, but I'm in nauseated awe. Notice how they always feel nauseated. That's how Hitler felt about the Jews, but never mind. I'm in nauseated awe of what it must take for a woman to succeed amongst hard right conservatives. So this is not subtle stuff, right? And again, the Babylon Bee nails it. They have a piece here. Leftists announced they no longer support strong, independent women. With the election of right-wing candidate Giorgio Meloni as Italy's first female prime minister, the left announced it no longer supports strong, independent women. This quote, "This is an absolute disaster. Maybe women do belong in the kitchen," said Italian leftist Atlantic contributor Gianni Mozzarella. Quote, "If we had spent less time empowering women, maybe we would have stopped this far right, right-wing fascist, far extremist, far Nazi, right extremist, right-winger from getting elected." Experts in the EU, World Economic Forum, and famed supervillain organisation Spectre are warning that Meloni is extremely dangerous. "We can't overstate just how far right extremist and fascist this extremist, fascist, far right woman really is," said World Economic Forum founder Klaus Schwab. "She's a danger to a glorious dream of a new world order because she believes in things like family and the infinite worth of the individual, which I must remind you are things that only fascists believe in." So I thought the Babylon Bee, who actually I think got that out before the Guardian article, absolutely nailed it. I would point people, an old article that I did for the column, "Who Are You Calling a Fascist?" looks at actually what fascism actually is and the nature of the economic errors that are core to it. And also I'd point at Benito Mussolini, who said, what is fascism? All within the state, nothing outside the state, nothing against the state. So it is statist. Right, so the way to know, is this woman a fascist? Does the state assume all power, or does she distribute it to the people and allow people to make their own decisions and direct their own lives? This will be the key question.
Yes, indeed.
Well, it's certainly stirring things up, and of course other people are going to come to the surface as a result of her lead in those areas, but obviously a few questions to be asked. I think we're out of time, so we've got a final image, which I think has come from you, David.
Yes, there's been a lot of absolutely vital information this week on the subject of COVID, and we've just not had time to put it in, but I've got here a final slide that gives you an essence of what's happening, and it reads, "Giant elephant in the room dies of sudden elephant death syndrome." I thought that covered in meme form exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, to end, we should have a video clip, which is the trailer for Safe and Effective, a Second Opinion, which follows through on our interview with Mark Sharman, where we were talking about matters to do with vaccine and adverse reactions. So we're going to end on that note today. We'll just play out on that. But I'm going to thank David and Mark Anderson for joining us. We will have a extra time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're able to join us for that, that would be very good. Let's just end with this little clip.
Your safety will always come first, and a COVID-19 vaccine will only be approved by us, the UK's Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, once it has met robust standards on safety, quality and effectiveness.
I was vaccinated because I'm a carer.
I've had all three, and I had the flu one as well.
As far as the government is concerned, I believe they are doing the best thing for the nation.
I've got an 8-year-old and I just didn't want to catch it where I didn't have to be fair. If it's going to prevent me from having it, then it was all good for me.
I wanted to go on holiday. I just thought it was better that I get it done. I wanted to protect other people.
The COVID vaccine has been hailed as a medical and logistical success. It's claimed that millions of lives have been saved. But there's growing evidence that the jab can have devastating consequences.
They actually told my wife and 2 children they had no hope, and if I did survive, it would be from the waist up.
I thought I was going to die. I would go to bed at night not thinking I was going to wake up.
Those injured by the vaccine feel unrecognised and abandoned by the NHS and a government they trusted.
You take one for the team, so I took the vaccine, but now the team's run in the opposite direction.
Just to let people know that when it goes wrong, there's like no help at all.
The doctors don't know what to do with us. We're literally keeping each other alive.
Safety is our watchword, and we are globally recognised for requiring the highest standards of safety, quality and effectiveness for any vaccine.
Having been double jabbed and being one of the first to take the Pfizer vaccine, I have, after several months, critically appraising the data, speaking to eminent scientists in Oxford, Stanford and Harvard, speaking to 2 investigative medical journalists and being contacted by 2 Pfizer whistleblowers, reluctantly concluded that this vaccine is not completely safe and has unprecedented harms, which leads me to conclude that it needs to be suspended until all the raw data has been released for independent analysis.